Hey everybody, Red Mage here. Welcome back to the series where I go through different RPG products that I have and give them a quick flip through and review. In this one, I'm going to be going through one of the most beautiful books I've seen in a long time, maybe since the last Free League One Ring book I went through. This is Realms of the Three Kings. It's a supplement for elves for the One Ring. It's just going to be a one-off today because instead of a three, because I didn't really have anything to go along with this, and I really wanted to show this book off because it's just kind of stunningly beautiful. I mean, Free League is just in another... Nope. Yeah, they're in another league, right? They are in another... They're playing another game. The art and the composition of their books is just next tier stuff. It's almost not even fair to the competition because the Free League books, especially the One Ring stuff, it just is incredibly beautiful. And as you'll see, this book is... It has a take on elves, especially Tolkien elves, that I haven't really seen, even in other Tolkien art. And that's that it kind of, you'll see, it takes like sort of almost like a Greek mythology, like a nymph, dryad, muse look to the elves, like, the sort of, well, you'll see, it's really beautiful. And of course, the cartography in these books is always top notch, absolutely beautiful, and there's no exception here. Both the overworld or the overall maps and the maps of particular dungeons. So here are the sections of the book. You have where the West Elves still linger, and that has a history of the Western Elves of Lothlorien and Rivendell of Lindon. Then you have the Days Darken, which is sort of some quests, some stories that you can develop. Perils of Last Road, Memories of Ancient Wounds, Old Hatreds May Still Breed War, and Other Shadows. And then you have landmarks, particular locations and dungeons. Some of them are kind of standalone adventures. Some of them have hooks and things to other places. Then you have the appendix, which just has some High Elves and Elves of Lorien. So two new, I forget what they call them in the One Ring, essentially backgrounds, ancestries. And then the Elf Lords in solo play. Again, you'll see that if you know the One Ring, you'll know the incidental art on pages and tops and bottoms of things. It's just gorgeous, and that's no difference. Here's what I mean. Look at this art. It is just staggering. I love it. It reminds me of like the sculpture of ancient Greek sculpture, art of Greek pastoral scenes, and you'll see it throughout. It's just gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. And it's a take on the elves, again, that I haven't seen, this idea connecting them to that. I mean, I know that Tolkien had some, drew on, obviously, mythology, but not on Greek mythology, at least as far as I can tell. And that's what makes this so striking, because it's such a different look than what you expect and the way that the elves are usually presented here. I love it. Absolutely love it. And then, of course, the pencil art, or the sketch art throughout is also just beautiful. It might be AI, or not AI, excuse me, it might be digitally made, but it still looks just absolutely incredible to me. I'm not actually, I tend to prefer hand-drawn art, hand-painted art to digital art. I don't know. I mean, some digital art is amazing. Some digital art is incredible, and this is most likely digital. But the other art. But I mean, it's just I have an affection for hand-drawn art, especially sketch art. So you have Lindon and the Grey Havens and just details about it, basically. Who rules it, maps of the locations, important people to see. Exploration tables, a great place, again, a great addition if you're going to be running the One Ring broadly in Eriador, but particularly if you're going to be running Arnor, Eriador, west of the Lonely Mountains. But it's Eriador. I'm right. I'm not crazy. And then, just absolutely beautiful. Now, this is an interesting, Círdan the Shipwright, or Círdan the Shipwright. I always said Círdan, but then they say Círdan. I don't know. Anyway, he has a beard. I've never seen an elf with a beard before. Again, it's a different look. He's the oldest elf in Middle-earth, as they say. I think he's the oldest elf in Middle-earth. Beautiful piece of art for the hoary old chestnut there. Great view of Rivendell and the city itself. And again, here's another one of those pieces that I talked about. It looks very Greek. Just again, not how I expect the elves to be presented, and therefore it caught me off guard. Now, it's a good classic Elrond. I could totally see that as Elrond. I was reminded the other day of the Elrond from The Hobbit, with his like stars around his head, or the Elf King from the Wood Elf King from the Hobbit cartoon. I'm talking about the cartoon, of course. If you guys have never seen that, you should just watch it once through. There's actually some very beautiful background pieces, and some of the sensibilities of the production are actually quite good, but it's also kind of funny and definitely dated and weird. It's really weird at times. Great map of Lothlorien there, and then the relation of Lothlorien to Moria. And now that you have, if you have, now that the Moria supplement has been released, you can see that they're just adding more and more and more. I am here for it, man. I'm going to get every single supplement that they release for this, probably day of, as soon as it comes out. Just beautiful, beautiful art. And of course, because there's the three rings, the realms of the three rings, it talks about each one, right? The ring of water, the ring of fire. And I missed it, but I'm going to go back to it. The ring of air, Philia. Yeah. And so you have all three. And the realms that have been created and protected by them. So Lindon, Rivendell, and Lothlorien. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. The fences of Lorien. And here's another one of those pieces. I want this on my wall. I want this as a piece of art. I think it's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. And it gives you so much, it gives you such an idea of the elves in Middle-earth. Ageless. What do you do as an ageless being, right? Well, sort of revel, right? I mean, if you think about the way that the Greeks thought of what the nymphs or the gods did, the demigods, things like that, what did they do? The elves are a little bit like that, right? They're sort of like the demigods of Middle-earth. They're immortal. And so you kind of don't have them doing the same stuff as other people. And one of the purposes of life, once you've gotten past the necessities, is sort of just to revel, to enjoy, to you know, as they would say, to engage in leisure. And dance is certainly, well, no, music, that's a big one, right? So I think that's great. And of course, elf minstrel songs is a big thing right here, and you have the table for it. Oh man, another great piece too, and this one's slightly different. It doesn't have that same look, but Galadriel there has like sort of the look like of a classic, you know, a classic beauty, like one of those, almost like some like Gustave Doré faces from his art. And I really like Celeborn there too. Really, really cool. Great piece of art there as the days darken. And you start to get the perils of the last road and some creatures and things to fight. The weasel lady. That's kind of a funny creature. The weasel spirit. I don't know how I would describe that to my players. Weasel just sounds like a funny word to me. Dagur, shadow of death. It's like a giant vulture. It's great. I love those pieces too. Arblaud, the Misguided. You have this kind of evil elf. I mean, he's not evil exactly. He's misguided, but he is really he'd be a great villain. And you have a sort of a sequence of events. It's pretty like sequenced, right? So this is going to happen, then that's going to happen, then this is going to happen. But it's on years. So that means it's not necessarily like a really quick sequence. So the players definitely have time to disrupt it and to interact with it. Other shadows. And then landmarks. Beautiful piece of art, again, just like all the others. Beautiful, beautiful cartography as you go through. Great maps, great locations. The Palace of the Seabirds. Oh, and it has one of my favorite pieces of art, which is a giant gull with a crown, or a cormorant, whatever it is. The Tower of the Puffins. No, he's like a gull. Yeah, that's great. The Valley of the Dwarves, the Vineyards of Glauria. Right, again, very Greek. Ode to a Grecian urn or something like that. The wine press. I love that piece of art. That's really cool. The Vineyards of Glauria. That's such a cool piece of art and such a cool location, man. The players go there, they're never going to forget. And the vineyards are on like cliffs. That's so cool. The Wailing Hole. The Winter Horn. That's really cool. There's like a ice spirit there. The Falls of Nimrodel. Beautiful. I'm just gushing on this book. The Ruins of Dwarfery. The Singing Stones. The Hollow Wood. The Isle of the Sorceress. Whitehorn Hay. That's a great little location too. And then a beautiful piece of art there. Again, I want this one. Appendix. The elves may fear the Dark Lord, and they may fly before him, but never again will they listen to him or serve him. The High Elves of Rivendell, the Elves of Lorien, and then the Elf Lords in solo play, if you want to play like Glorfindel. This is a great piece of art. I love that one as well. Again, I can't praise this book enough. Great final piece of art. A map there, I should say, at the end. This is just a fantastic work. This is, again, a very short video. I didn't want to do a huge one. I'm not going to be going through it in detail. I really just wanted a chance to look at it again and to show it off because, I had nothing to do with it. But it's so beautiful. So I highly recommend you guys check this one out. The Realms of the Three Rings from the One Ring. Even if, I would venture to say, even if you don't play the One Ring, this book might be worth getting just because of how beautiful it is. The inspiration, the art, the locations, just take them out and put them in your own game. Even if you don't call it Linden or call it Rivendell, use the tables, use the people, except for Elrond, right? I mean, use the information, just change a little bit and add it into your own game. The One Ring, and again, the ideas here will be of a very certain tone, don't get me wrong. It'll be Tolkien-esque if you run it as is or even play it with that sort of tone, but that's not a bad tone. And the elves as presented here are worth stealing. They are worth using because they are absolutely brilliant. It's a great way of playing, especially if you're elves, if you have elves in your world and they are immortal elves. This is the way to go. All right, guys. Well, hope this has been interesting, and I'll see you all in another video.